What's up, y'all? Welcome back. I'm a little late to the party. Man, it's up, man. So President Trump, yo, this is up. Like his Marine One had a malfunction. I'm like, yo, he do not need to go to England, yo. He do not need to go to England. I had said it. Yo, he don't need to go to England. Now all of a sudden, the plane had a Marine One had a hydraulic malfunction. And yeah, so it had to land in an airfield, man, like straight up. So we're gonna get into that. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I'm a little late, but I'm like, okay, what's going on, Greg? What's going on, Jay Steves? What's up? All right, so let's get to this.
Landing after a hydraulic issue. I want to put this up on the screen. This is a tweet that we have there from Fox News speaking about it. They called it, quote, a minor hydraulic issue. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that President Trump and the First Lady were forced to switch helicopters after Marine One experienced an issue during Trump's UK visit. Of course, we do know that during that time, President Trump has met with several other leaders, but they did say there via Caroline Leavitt that out of an abundance of caution, the pilots landed at a local airfield before reaching Stansted Airport. The president and First Lady safely boarded the support helicopter. And so to talk a lot more.
All right, so yeah, man, that was a close call. I'm just telling y'all this. You say this shit is a movie, man. It's a movie. Straight up, it's a movie. Listen, that was a close call. That was a close call. You say he should. I know. Asked me, he should have stayed his ass home. That's what I was saying. He should have stayed home, yo, because it's up right now. They already had on Buckingham Palace. They had a projector with his mugshot on it at Buckingham Palace. You know what I'm saying? They had that, and then they had another projector and all that. In England, they want him there, to build their relations or whatnot. So they want him there. But I was like, yo, I had said this yesterday. I don't even think he should go. You know what I'm saying? Because just the way things are right now around the country. I'm not saying nobody purposely did it, but listen, man, this never happens. I have never heard a Marine One having an issue with the president on it. Ever. I don't care if it's 1950s technology. Never have. But when the president flies, there are 3 helicopters that's flying with him. So you don't know which one he's on, but that one he was on had to land. And then he quickly got on the other one. Now, he had a close call, man. I don't care what nobody say. He had a close call. Straight up.
About this and what it potentially means, and really get an understanding of what goes on behind the scenes when flying the president of the United States. I now want to bring into the conversation aviation expert Ron Alvarado. Ron, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. We've spoken to you before. You have extensive experience there as it pertains to flying a president. In fact, you were just talking to me about some of the times you've been overseas with the president back in 2004. But first of all, talk a little bit to us about Marine One, what that helicopter looks like and how it typically operates.
Well, as you can imagine, it's a very prestigious helicopter. It's a executive transport for VIPs, primarily for the White House. Very capable airframe. And there were backup aircraft in the vicinity, obviously, flying from one location to another there in the London area. I personally have flown the president from Heathrow, actually from Buckingham Palace to Heathrow in the fog, but we had navigation equipment to get us there safely. So to fly Marine One is very prestigious. People are handpicked to fly that helicopter. So the helicopter itself is very capable. It's very safe. A minor hydraulic leak could be the auxiliary power plant. It could have been.
Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop. I know the history of this Marine One. Okay. I happen to know some random shit. I know history on this and Air Force One. Before this thing even takes off, it has a whole team of people checking this thing from top to bottom. Okay. From top to bottom, you got specialized mechanics that's making sure this thing never has no malfunction. Then all of a sudden, that don't have a malfunction. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he need to go ahead and leave the UK, yo, because it's up around the world, yo. It's up. Okay, so I don't even think he need to be there. If I was him right now, I said, listen, man, we canceling this visit. Let me get back on Air Force One, man, and get up out of here.
One of the hydraulic systems, but please keep in mind this type of helicopter, even though it's 1950s technology, it is the state-of-the-art availability of what they've got on the market now for that type of airframe. So what I'm saying is there's redundancy in the systems of this airframe. If one section or one type of a system fails, there's a backup. So it sounds like out of an abundance of precaution, they're going to the backup aircraft, which is very prudent, which is what we've done in the past when I was there at the President's Helicopter Squadron.
And so that's helpful for some context there to let us know that this can happen. And when this does, behind the
I keep telling these people don't go outside. They keep trying to be outside. It's up right now. It's up around the world. It's up, yo. He cannot go outside. I don't know what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what they're doing. Listen, I don't care if it's 1950s. They had just said it's 1950s technology after I said it. I don't care if it's 1950s technology. I had already said that. They have specialized mechanics to make sure that this don't happen. Okay? Okay, let me just say this. I don't know if it's an attempt. It feels like it to me. It feels like it. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it. It does, because they have, like I said, when I say specialized mechanics, they go through every single inch of that helicopter. Now, we know that the call sign. See, first I was like, was one of the other helicopters that had to do emergency land? They said no, Marine One had to do emergency. I said, wait a minute, Marine One? It's only called Marine One when the president's on board. That's the call sign. That's the military. That's the United States Marine Corps highest duty right there. That's their highest duty when he's on there. You see what I'm saying? They call it Marine One. That's the call sign. The call sign when he gets on that plane is called Air Force One. That's the call sign. When the vice president get on that plane, it's called Executive One. No. It's called I think it's called Executive One, but I know his car is called Executive One. But they call the Air Force Executive when the vice president is on board. That's the call sign. Yo, it's up around the world. I don't know why he's outside. It's up right now. When I like, you don't even know what I have to mean when I say it's up. Okay. No, he's not back. He's still over there. He need to get. Listen, if I was him, I would say, listen, you know what I'm saying, Charles, I'll check y'all out later. I got to get back. Get on that Air Force One and get up out of there. That's it. World leaders, you want to come see me up in the States, man. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. Oh, you just logged in? All right, let's get to it. Okay, President's helicopter, when he's on board, it's called Marine One. It had to do an emergency landing because of the hydraulic system failed. Do you know what that means? That's not good. That's not good. But he got specialized pilots, went ahead and landed that bad boy. All right. But yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, the president was on board, because why are they calling him Marine One? That means he was on board when it happened, him and his wife. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy.
Scenes, what is the atmosphere like on the helicopter? Obviously, with you being the pilot, trying to keep a sense of calm, I have to imagine, in a situation that can be very scary for those on board, including the President of the United States.
Well, pilots are trained for this type of a scenario where if a system fails, whether it be hydraulics, whether it be an engine, there's two engines on board this helicopter, we go into muscle memory, is what I like to describe it, meaning we're trained so extensively that when bad things occur, we know exactly what to do and how to deal with the issue. So I can imagine if there was a caution light that came on or an advisory light in the flight deck, I'm sure the pilot said, okay, here's the plan, here's what we're going to do. They communicated that plan to other aircraft, other agencies, and the Secret Service, the British Protective Services. I'm sure they've went into overdrive to deal with the situation. And where they landed, I'm sure it was a part of the plan. If something does go wrong, they're going to land at location.
And so when we're talking about some of the airspace there, as well as we're taking a look, this is some footage that we have from Marine One landing in different locations around the UK. This footage is from earlier this week. Of course, we know the
Anytime before he gets there, they already have the helicopters there doing test runs. I know the whole get up on how they do it. Okay. They never have hydraulic issues. Never. They always make sure that that thing is in pristine condition. They call them the white tops. And let me give you a story real quick. I was headed to coming back from Jersey going to Virginia, and I ran into them right over top of my head, the white tops. And I knew the president was on board because it was headed right to the White House. I was like, yo, I think that's the one the president's on, right over my head, right over my head. Marine One. This is when Biden was still in office. And then when I checked the news, I saw that he had just got back to the White House when I got back to Virginia. I think in my spirit telling me he need to go back to the United States tonight. He need to leave. He need to leave, yo. Yeah, he need to leave because they already, like some people had in Buckingham Palace, they had this projector up of his mugshot. A big ass projector screen of his mugshot on the side of the building.
president was there on a highly anticipated state visit. But Ron, I want to talk to you a bit about the airspace there in the United Kingdom. Is it much different? London, of course, having Heathrow Airport, one of the busiest airports in the entire world. How does that airspace affect how those decisions are made when flying a president around?
Well, whenever the president of the United States or the vice president or heads of state are flying in any airspace anywhere in the world, there's a TFR. That's a temporary flight restrictions. In other words, no aircraft are going in that bubble, that airspace that is protected for VIP transport. So referring back to the time where I flew from Buckingham Palace to Heathrow, no aircraft were in the air. In fact, I remember on short final at Heathrow, there were a line of 747s and heavy aircraft waiting to take off, but they couldn't because Marine One was in the air. So the protected airspace by Marine One as they're transiting, it's very safe, very protected, and there could even be combat air patrol above where the helicopters are flying based upon the threats. So this is one of the most protected helicopters on Earth, and I guarantee you the president was in very good, capable hands. No issues whatsoever as far as danger is concerned.
And when it comes to what happens with that handoff, we did hear there from Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, that they were transported, the president and the first lady, to a support helicopter. When that happens, are the same pilots from that initial?
All right, let me just say this, right? I know the whole thing. So there's always 3 to 4 helicopters flying with him at all times. Marine One is the one that he's on. That's the call sign when he's on there. He does sound skeptic because, yeah, I am too over this. This is sketch. So basically, if something happens to that helicopter, yes, it does land. Yes, they are armed. They have people on board that are armed, and the other helicopter will land and usher him right into the helicopter. That's why they have more than one, just in case. So yes, they do practice that. If they have to make an emergency landing, what do they do with him? Because he's the most protected man on earth. He is. He's the most protected man on earth. And if something happened to him over there, you know it's all the way up. It's up. I could have told him it's up already. Please stop going outside. You see what I'm saying? You said, man, was he flying back to the US when they land? No. He's in England for that visit, for that state visit right now.
Marine One craft the ones piloting the new craft, or are these others that they have on standby in the area in case a disaster or anything that it makes it so that they need to evacuate the initial craft? Are they the ones who fly that new aircraft?
So it all depends upon the SOPs, the standard operating procedures for the squadron, HMX-1. The commanding officer, if he were flying, he would more than likely land and go to the backup aircraft. In other words, kicking out the pilots from the backup aircraft. Or the Marine One pilot who's tasked with that mission in the primary aircraft, he could go with the backup aircraft, or he could stay where he is, and another Marine One pilot stands in place. So bottom line, I don't know what transpired. You could look at the footage, if there is any, of what the pilots did, getting to the helicopter prior to the president getting aboard. But there's usually a very, very smooth transition from one helicopter to the other. The Secret Service, they practice for this every day, and so do the pilots. So going from one helicopter to the backup, it's a seamless, smooth transition. The president and his dignitaries are never in danger whatsoever.
And that was my last question. I was going to ask you, what does that security look like? I have to imagine so much is done ahead of the time before the president boards initially Marine One, and to have that sort of change over in direction and what they need to do. Is the Secret Service already on standby to have some of these plans made ahead of time to make sure that is a peaceful transition?
So these lift operations, these missions are thoroughly planned and briefed. Usually the night before or the morning of. So the Marine One commander, the person who's actually conducting the mission with the president aboard, he or she is running the show, kind of orchestrating how the operation is going to go. And they're always briefing contingencies, the what if we lose an engine, what if.
Not only that, but they have, like I said, mechanics that is the best in the Marine Corps that's handling those helicopters. They're the ones that's working on them. They make sure that every inch of Marine One is taken care of. I do not care every inch. Something is wrong here. Something went wrong. That's the only thing I could say. And they're in a special area. By the time he gets there, by the time his plane land, Marine One and them is ready to go. It's already there already. Okay. Listen, that could have been catastrophic if that plane had a drop. I mean, excuse me, that helicopter would have dropped. Yeah. So, but obviously, like I said, they have backups, of course. So when they landed, yes, he went straight to the backup. And I believe it's either like he said, usually they either have the commander fly the other one, or they just hurry up and whisk him away, depending on where he's at. They have to hurry up and get him on there and get him up out of there. So, yeah, something don't seem right about this one.
If we lose the system, where are we going to go? So this was probably more than likely already briefed. The DoD support aircraft, Department of Defense aircraft, primarily Air Force, U.S. Air Force helicopters stationed in England, they were probably standing by. There could have been backup Secret Service in those helicopters. I don't know the security. I have an idea because I've lived the world, but I guarantee you things were kicked into overdrive. Standard operating procedures were in effect, and they safely got the President of the United States from one helicopter to the next helicopter and on their way to his destination.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Ron Alvarado, our aviation expert. In a day and time when we hear about so many things happening between helicopters and planes, it's nice to know that, as Ron is saying there, those Secret Service folks and those who are pilots of the president's helicopter are in safe hands and making sure they make that adjustment quickly and safely. We appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Okay. So you heard that right there. Yeah, he's lucky, man. He's lucky. It's the only thing I could say. Let me see if they have some actual footage that happening. You know, somebody has to be around to like get it or something. You know how like somebody's usually around that will like get something. Like you know, like some footage of it when he was landing. They probably will like scrub the internet of that stuff though. This looks kind of crazy. Why is she standing like that? Yo, something ain't right, yo. Look at this. Why is she standing like that? I don't know if you can see it. See how she's standing like, she was it was a curtsy, maybe. Maybe that's what she was doing. You know, the crazy thing is, Trump, he don't curtsy. He doesn't. He didn't even do it when the Queen was alive. You know how they like you bow your head. He don't do that. He went and straight shook her hand, man. Like this guy, he need to be studied like throughout history, man. We got to study him, man. Like, he didn't curtsy or nothing. You know what I mean? So you say you just got the notification. As long as you got the notification, that's it. That's what's up. And then when he went to Saudi Arabia, you're not supposed to touch the crown prince, right? He went over there and gave him a little tap on the shoulder, and rubbed his shoulder and kept going. The prince was looking like, what the fuck? Who just touched me? And he's like, oh, okay. He just looked at Trump like, all right. Shit is what it is, man. You know? Oh, is he back now? Hold on, let me see something real quick. He may be back now. This was 3 hours ago. This was 3 hours. Hold on one second. Let me see. This happened today. It did. But he could be on his way back now. All right, let me see. Yeah, that was yeah, he definitely is back now. He probably is coming. He probably is back because that happened earlier. Yeah, but they just reporting on it like 3 hours ago. So I'm like, oh shoot, like it just happened. But anyway, so yeah, it did happen today though. It better be back quick, fast, in a hurry. I know I would want to be back because y'all don't know if y'all saw him when he got back on. Yeah, this happened earlier because when he was on Air Force One, he went up to the pilot and said, "Just make sure you get me home safe." He said that, and then the pilot was like, "Well, I need to get home too." Yeah, he said that. I guess because of the helicopter situation, Trump, he did say that today. Yo, make sure you know what I'm saying, get me home safe. You know, because no, he said we gotta have a safe flight because I'm on board or something. He said, yeah, he said that. That's probably now it made sense why he said that because of the whole helicopter situation earlier. That's hilarious. Like the plane is flying. Here he is, like in the cockpit with the pilots talking about, man, you know, make sure we have a safe flight because I'm on board. Yeah, man, he had a nerve-wracking day, man. That's what it was. So yeah. I would have said the same thing, you know, make sure everything's right, right? The hydraulics and everything is cool on this thing, man. So we can land. So yeah. All right, so yeah, he back. You said get a warm glass of milk and go to sleep. I know I need me a shot or something after that ordeal. Yeah, man, but that's all it is. So I know I'm like, wait a minute, they reporting this now. Because you know, England, it's like early in the morning in England right now. Yeah, he had a interesting day to say the least. Emergency landing on the plane on the helicopter. Because I was wondering why he said that to the Air Force One pilots. You know, I'm on board. Make sure we all right. Because you know, he said to the president, "Well, I want to get home too." He said, "All right, well, you know, just because I'm on board, make sure we have a safe flight." Maybe that's why he said it. Because it was random that he said that today. You know, but he all right. He back in Washington. You know, he sat up there and chopped it up with Prince Charles real quick. I mean, excuse me, King Charles. You know, I'm so used to calling him Prince Charles all my life. He King Charles now. So he went up there and chopped it up with, and then they had said something about his wife was she was well enough to attend the visit. So it must be something going on with his wife. Like she not feeling too good. Um so yes, that is the news right now. That is the news, guys. I report the news, breaking news as it happens. My name is Max Wonder on location. Um, Max Wonder on location. We are now over. What else is going on in the news, guys, that y'all interested in? David still didn't get arrested yet. I'm still watching that. At any minute, he gonna get arrested. Any minute now, he is going to get arrested. He canceled the rest of his shows. Okay, he canceled it. And you know how he got popular? Y'all ain't gonna believe this. You know how he got popular, man? On Fortnite. On Fortnite. Because he started putting music on Fortnite so that people won't get copywritten. And then he developed a huge following that way, guys, on Fortnite. David. Yeah, he's a streamer. Stream on Fortnite. And then and he started singing. I heard what happened to Jimmy Kimmel, man. It's crazy, man. Now they talking about getting a national holiday for the guy now. It's craziness, man. But yeah, but you know what, Jimmy Kimmel though, all he gonna do is get his own podcast, and it's up from there. Shit, he don't care about that no more. Okay, you fired me for that. Watch this. I'm gonna do like Shannon Sharp and them doing. and go ahead and get me a YouTube channel and it's up. That's it. I don't need you. I don't need that no more. You know, create his YouTube page and he'd be straight. He already got a following. Like, we just gonna do it like this now. Yeah, just get a podcast. That's it. Start interviewing people and doing it like that. And you said, and it's on George Floyd's birthday. You said you didn't know him and Charlie Kirk had the same birthday. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird, dog. Him and George Floyd, they both got the same birthday. I think the world is a stage, man. They playing in our face. It ain't nothing we could do about it. Just kind of just watch the show, man. Hold on, though. Yeah, man. It's yeah, I didn't know that. I know it's a lot of strange ties to different situations, dates and stuff. But I just wanted to say that, he's back, he back in the States after that helicopter incident. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. David still waiting to get arrested because I know he gonna get arrested. He going to jail, straight up. So we just gotta wait for that to happen because he going. And just to correct it, he was dating her when she was 12. She went missing when she was 13. She turned 14 now that they found her body. She's not 15. They started talking when she was 12, man. Let's see, 12, 13, 14. Man, I mean, he was 18 and she was 12, man. Sick. Sick, man. Freaking David. David is David going to jail. Hope he ready for it. Right now, he need to be getting his affairs in order. And the crazy thing is, he's a well-spoken kid. But you never know what's going on in people's head. Yeah, well-spoken kid, man. And now this happened, you know. But they're pulling the data on the Tesla, so they'll be able to know who was driving it. They'll be able to see it because that car records everything. They'll be able to tell who's doing what, everything. But he claims that the cameras. I don't know. Somebody said he disabled the cameras by accident. Ain't no accident. I know he is good as toast when he get to jail. They gonna have to section him, put him by himself. And he very petite and short. So he already at a disadvantage. Freaking David, man. It's crazy. I mean, is it a sacrifice gone bad? You know? You know how they say in the industry you gotta have somebody to sacrifice. I don't know. Crazy world, man. We were talking about that big comet that's coming. You know, there's like 15 of them already here already in our solar system. 15, man, something like that, some crazy number. But yeah, David, he won't be safe in prison for sure. They would have to literally have him by himself because his celebrity status or something. Right when his career was taking off, here we go with this. It's crazy. You say you ready for 3i Atlas to come and take us home? Stevie B, you ready? Let me see if I can find this funny video on Instagram. Somebody made a AI of the aliens coming home. And they put someone on playing mode 3. It was hilarious. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. You know how they make those funny videos saying here come the aliens? It's a whole lot of stuff going on, man. Yeah, man. Freaking David, man. Anyway, yeah, David in trouble, man. You said mandatory alien vaccines coming? You gotta take an alien vaccine? You said, yeah, I said the news said that more comets popped up out of nowhere from behind the sun. Yeah. More come because they had already reached perihelion already. So they just now popping out of the perihelion, and here we are seeing them now. They said one of the comets we're going to be able to see soon. It's going to be very bright. And then there's one comet that's interacting with the 3i Atlas. I don't know, man. I don't. Are they comets or what, man? Like I don't know. How all of a sudden they telling us now it's like mad comets out here, and they ain't tell us that before. But that one that's coming, 3i Atlas, it's like the size of Manhattan, man. Like, come on, man. What is that? The size of Manhattan? Nah, yo, that sound like a ship. That's what that sound like to me. The size of Manhattan. And it's going mad fast. Encounters of the fifth kind. But yeah, so that's what they're saying now. There's comments all over the place. Just showed up, boom, here we are. Anyway, guys, let me get up out of here, man. I'll be back a little later. I might come back for the spaceship talk. That's what I want to talk about next. But guys, I'll be back in about an hour because I want to talk about those comments. I just want to get my news up together before I go live. But yeah, there's a lot of comments out there right now. You said hope it goes by the sun and switch course. Yeah, could you imagine that? We can't see it, right? Then all of a sudden they were like, guys, this thing is coming our way. The fuck? It's actually, and it's slowed down. It's coming our way. And it's the size of Manhattan and Connecticut put together. God damn. Whole Connecticut. How big is this thing, man? Because they said the coma is half the size of the sun. You know how big the sun is? You know how many Earths you can fit in the sun? It's crazy, man. So whatever it is, man, it's up. Like for real. But anyway, guys, let me get out of here. I will catch you on the next one to talk about that 3-hour atlas. All right, y'all.